halfway mark. There's Mitchell. Last year they played a heck of a game. Missouri scored 110. Mitchell went for 30+ in that one. Richard, I said it a moment ago, Charles Bediako, second game back with Alabama. More on his saga as this game unfolds. He is in the starting lineup today to combat that post force in Mitchell and others for the Tigers.
Bediako should be a big impactful player for Alabama, particularly on the inside.
After T.O. Barrett misfires on the baseline, Alabama pushes back this way. There's number 2 in the white. Aiden Holloway missed their Tennessee loss on Saturday with an injury. He returns to the court today into the starting lineup. They're still without Amari Allen. That is the really dynamic freshman. He is unlikely to play tonight. Aiden Sherrill, the very versatile stretch big, misfires. Latrell Wrightsell gets his team a new 20. There goes Holloway. He is the marksman, and he nails his first look.
Well, there's no rust for Aiden Holloway after he missed a game in the last one. It's a big-time shooter, averaging over 17 points a game. His presence will be felt for Alabama today.
He, and you see number 35 there in the Missouri starting lineup, Jacob Cruz. They are 2 of the premier three-point shooters in the league. Leading the way for the Tigers, Mark Mitchell, as we mentioned before, goes for about 18 a game. He has been particularly effective in league play. After the turnover, here come the Tigers. Barrett, a driving kick over to Cruz. Watches that one go down and out. And Bediako secures the board.
You see Bediako already with 2 defensive boards for Alabama. He's going to have to be much better when it comes to his defensive rebound.
Yeah, they only had a 3 in that game against Tennessee the other day. Sherrill knocks down the left wing triple.
Now this is what you get with Alabama with Bediako back in the fold. Aiden Sherrill is 6'11", 250 pounds, but he's more of a face-up big with a really good touch. He's developed some low post skills, but now he's back into a little bit more of a natural role for him.
Yeah, 2 6'11" bigs on the court. They're multiplying for Alabama these days. Barrett inside, coming off of his career-high breakout performance in the win against Oklahoma.
T.O. Barrett's a really good guard. He's a strong-bodied guard who's fearless with getting in the paint. He can get downhill, and he can really shut down his man defensively.
Oh, look who's open again. Sherrill knocks down another.
Aiden Sherrill was out earlier in the shoot-around, getting up extra three-point attempts and working on his game. And it shows you that the hard work is paying off early for number 22 in white.
The sophomore's got a couple of 20-point games in league play, and is tonight another breakout performance. Cruz picks up the dribble, and Sean Phillips Jr. here is looking to find Stone. So this is one of the impactful scorers for Missouri. After the miss, Cruz puts it back up. Phillips would not be denied. They are really strong on the glass, Missouri is.
Good activity right there by Sean Phillips Jr. and an offensive rebound putback, and a big one that Missouri needed.
That's travel. Ball back to Mizzou. Dennis Gates' team won on Saturday in overtime against Oklahoma. He described it as a gritty, resilient, just, would not be denied sort of a victory. He's looking for a second straight win today against Alabama.
Dennis Gates has done a phenomenal job at Missouri, particularly when it comes to motivating his players to get the best. And some seasons his teams have been riddled with injuries, and a little bit this season, but they're starting to get healthy, starting to get their chemistry, and I think they can still continue to play high-level ball.
They've got some big wins in league play. There's Phillips off the window, so he's got 4 quick ones.
And that's a high-level move. He took his time right there on that short roll and got to a jump stop, and the extension with the lefty hook off the glass.
This is LeBaron Philon. The sophomore is the league's point-per-game leader.
Well, Philon can get it done in so many ways. He's going to have to assert himself. You see T.O. Barrett. That's that strong dribble move that he has. He has an outstanding physique, and when he gets you on his hip, you're hanging on for life when he's finishing at the rim.
That time, Philon nearly blew past him. Taylor Bowen tees up a 3. Who was that last touch by? Mitchell saves it, and Missouri's coming back the other way. Yeah, Richard, for Barrett, he's got it right here. Second straight start, and his pass is too far for Phillips. Numbers, Alabama pushing. Holloway puts it up, missed it. Bowen ties up Mitchell. That'll take us to a timeout. Alabama leads it by team. They were going to make a ruling. That hearing was postponed, reportedly because of the NCAA Council's inability to get to Tuscaloosa due to poor weather. Because, of course, across the United States, Bediako draws the foul there. So they have extended that temporary restraining order 10 more days. Look, it's a lot of legal jargon, but he is at least eligible now by the ability of a TRO to play at least through February 9th.
Well, the stance for Nate Oates is quite simple. When you look at the precedents that have been set by several other colleges around the country of allowing G League players to return and play in the NCAA, and even professionals that are coming from the international ranks, it feels it's a clear case that Bediako can now contribute for Alabama. He's been impactful. He comes right in this game. He's able to knock down 2 free throws there on that baseline out of bounds situation. But you know, this is a situation where you have a guy who was undrafted. And unfortunately, as you can see, T.O. Baird with another strong move, that you have to make a decision as a player on the collegiate game if you're going to forego your eligibility. Me personally, being a guy who was drafted to the NBA as an underclassman, I think that should be out of the hands of the player. In that particular situation, you find yourself, as you enter, that you're at the mercy of the NBA team drafting you, and then you have no options of what you can do after if it doesn't happen. At the landscape of NIL changing and opportunities that everyone's going back to the game to try to make money in the collegiate level, it's a situation where he feels it is best for him to capitalize. So a really tricky situation, but maybe it could be something that sorts out a lot of things that are going on in the collegiate game. Tricky,
but very significant, Richard, and I'm glad you shared your perspective on it going back to your NBA draft experience back in 2008. Alabama back on this end of the floor. Look, we spent a lot of time talking with Nate Oates. You look at all the reports around this matter, and I think Charles Bediako and his legal team are pursuing this because they are very comfortable and very confident that based on what you're referencing there is enough precedent here where they would be able to get a favorable ruling to allow him to play the rest of the year.
It's definitely,
that's what I would surmise.
It's definitely that. But a complex situation in the complexity of how college athletics is right now. There's a lot of things that need to be sorted out, particularly when you talk about the calendar in which that collegiate coaches have to make decisions in putting their rosters together, players who are potential NBA prospects. When you're talking about NBA players and potential players from other leagues, international leagues, who want to pursue opportunities in the collegiate game, there's a lot to be sorted out. But sometimes situations like this may play a role to get some type of ruling that can make things better for everyone across the landscape, for all professionals, foreign and domestic.
Yeah, we're going to look back, I think, on this week or just how this ruling plays out, and it could really shape the future. By the way, 3 seconds left here for Alabama. Philon, a little sidestep, misses the 3, tap back up, and the rebound is secured by Trent Pierce.
Yeah, you talk about making the stand. It's the Missouri defense. This is the team right here that won't blink. They've been able to finish out games. If you are the Tigers, you want to keep this game close because they have a knack for figuring out how to win games in the clutch.
Here goes Mitchell up with the left. That's his lead hand. Missed everything. And Houston Millette nearly threw it away. Jaden Stone popped it up in the air. Millette going to step into a deep 3. Phillips the board.
And Sean Phillips doing an outstanding job offensively and defensively clearing it out. Now Missouri's a team that can execute in a methodical way in the half-court set. They'll move the ball around really well and find a quality look, and they're very efficient when you talk about field goal percentage.
Here's Anthony Robinson back on the floor. That is the junior from Tallahassee. He's coming off the bench today again, puts his head down and scores it at the rim.
Well, you can see his ability. He calms the team down.
Terrell that time got fouled. So that is a foul on Missouri. His first personal. And just to put a bow on that prior conversation, a lot of that information we gathered today, speaking with Nate Oates, Bediako, the Alabama folks. A lot of the information that has been reported, also AL.com. Nick Kelly's been all over this. A lot of that information coming from that yesterday and today.
I think in that particular situation, it's unfortunate. And it happens for a lot of players that get maybe not the best information, and you want to go to the professional ranks. I would be honest, in these deals, everyone goes to college with the goal to try to go to the professional ranks and make a living. When players enter the draft, I think the NBA should adapt more of the baseball model. Call a player up, ask them if they like the position they're picked, and let them have a choice. In a day of player agency, allow the player to have a little bit more control of where he wants to work professionally.
London Jemison wants the 3. Missed it. Pierce got his hands on it. And now Barrett looks to push. Robinson cut off by Philon. Pierce is open. He is a very capable outside shooter. Phillips another offensive board.
Phillips doing yeoman's work down low. Seems to be in a groove when it comes to the rebounds and getting second opportunities for the Tigers.
Yep, he's got 3 rebounds now in the first 8 minutes. Plus 4 points. Robinson a step back. He gets fouled. So Anthony Robinson has got 3 free throws coming up. Philon got him on the arm.
Well, that second chance opportunity created from the offensive rebound. And Robinson with that really good step back move, able to draw the foul, going to the line to see if Mizzou can extend the lead.
Robinson about a 70% free throw shooter. His team has got the 2-point edge. Early goings of what could be another entertaining addition on the hardwood between these two. Oh, Robinson missed everything. Let's remind you, we got a great men's hoops matchup that's tomorrow, 7 Eastern. And it features Tennessee in Athens to take on Georgia. Nate Ament leading Tennessee into Athens to take on the Bulldogs. Ament, career high 29 in that win Saturday against this Alabama team.
2 really good teams, and Rick Barnes' team is starting to turn a corner. Nate Ament is showing to be a pro in his ability as he's developing high level of confidence. That should be a really good matchup and fun to watch with a really strong Georgia team that goes deep and plays an electric style.
And you just had a front row seat to watch him. I agree with you. He looks like he has just evolved, much more confident as this year has unfolded.
Well, when you get to this point of the season, you're no longer a freshman. You're a sophomore, and the growth has happened before your eyes.
Philon, he has been the breakout star in the league this year. Pulls the trigger, Philon connects.
That's good defense, but that's just better roll. Missouri doing a really good job trying to give some pressure on Philon. But those shifty moves, all he needs is just a little bit of a crease, and he's able to knock it down from deep.
Much more fruitful start for Alabama beyond the arc in the early goings today. They struggled against Tennessee. They've hit 3 times from distance.
Alabama.
Cruz, the curl. Missed it.
Alabama leads the conference in 3-point attempt rate at over 52% of their attempts. And if they can get more attempts from the 3-point line, then the more effective they are.
They're happy to have Holloway back today. Unfortunately, no Allen for a second straight game. Jemison for 3. Timeout, Missouri.
Well, the 3 ball has started now, and I think this is only going to make LeBaron Philon look much better. You know he can score the ball, but the playmaking ability of having a legitimate lob threat on every single possession really is going to elevate his assist numbers.
How did they fare in the pick and roll game the other day in your eyes against Tennessee?
Well, listen, Rick Barnes' defense is starting to settle in, and they will squeeze you and make it very, very difficult. And that was just a game that they've made Alabama struggle to find high-level shots. And you can see really good action right there coming out of that break from Missouri. Dennis Gates dialing up some high-low action. A good pinpointed pass. That's beautiful coaching right there. Your team's struggling at the run for Alabama. You get the clipboard in the break. You dial something up to draw the foul and go to the free throw line to calm down the game.
No surprise, 2 really savvy coaches, by the way, going head-to-head again today. So Pierce back at the line. That foul was on Reitzel. And that was his first. Trent Pierce, it's really nice to continue to see a healthy Trent Pierce, the junior captain from Tulsa, missed all of the non-conference season. Has played in now every SEC game to this point. Had a big three on Saturday, I would say.
Well, he makes a big difference.
Yeah.
And at 6'10", he can get off his shot and anyone around.
Bol Bowen might have had that one partially tipped by Phillips. And then a foul on the inside.
That's one right there with Bediako's presence to get this offensive rebound. If you're Bol Bowen, you're catching this ball in a short roll, you have options. He really can throw that right at the corner of the square and allow Bediako to get the alley-oop. So when you're reading in the screen roll situation, you have to read where your advantages are. If Phillips steps up off of Bediako, you throw the alley-oop. If he remains stuck to him, then you finish it yourself. So it's quick decisions that you have to make from your power forwards and, quite frankly, from all 5 players on the court to make the best decision to be effective.
And Nate Oates let us know that earlier today. He was going to put Bediako in the starting lineup against some of these really clever Missouri front court players. So Bediako gives his team a 3-point edge.
These are the moments for Alabama. You start to get a run. Can they put together multiple stops on the defensive end to try to increase their lead? They have a tendency to relax a little bit. And Missouri's a team that will continue to put strong pressure on you, particularly in the half-court set.
Philon looking to take it away. Jemison knocked it loose for a moment. 5 to shoot. Deep one. And then a foul. That's going to go against Robinson.
That's a tough one right there on Anthony Robinson II. He just caught in the wrong spot. That little nudge in the lower back of Holloway. He gets called for pushing. The ball back to Alabama.
I thought the one on Pierce was a little as well. So Missouri with a couple of tough breaks here. They have been whistled for 5 team fouls. Alabama just the 2. Philon looking to go to work here on Mitchell. Instead gives it up. Philon, crafty, clever, inside, missed it. And Mitchell ties up Bol Bowen. That's a jump ball. Possession arrow favors Missouri.
That's a terrific job right there by Mark Mitchell. And you got the conference's leading scorer who's terrific on an island, having you in an isolation situation. And at 6'9", 230 pounds, he sits down and guards a shifty player and comes up with a stop. That's the type of energy, intensity you got to have on the defensive end all night long if you're Mizzou.
That athleticism, quickness, and then that cleverness, that combination, that's what intrigues the next level.
And the anticipation. It's not just the athleticism. It's the understanding of positioning, but he's definitely a high-level player.
Philon leading the league in scoring. Mark Mitchell is clearly playing at an all-conference level as well. And Bol Bowen turns it over there. Double dribble. He's tapping his chest.
That was a great job right there by Jaden Stone. Bol Bowen gets this ball off the boards, but you can see Jaden Stone, as he's over there playing defense on the other side, he doubled back as if he was going to steal that ball. And just that one little bit of a hesitation move by Bol Bowen when he thought he was going to pass that created the double dribble. But that's a really good job by the crafty Stone.
That's twice Stone has nearly done that in the backcourt. After Pierce's missed 3, Bediako, the outlet. Holloway up ahead. Here's the catch and shoot specialist. Reitzel could not get right on that time.
Reitzel, really good shooter, returning after a year being out with injuries. He's a much better shooter when he gets his feet settled. I mean, he can hit that shot running full speed. But taking the time and the ball coming back to him after it being in the half court, the percentages go up tremendously.
14 points for Reitzel in his return against Tennessee the other day. Had missed the prior 3, leg injury. Alabama, they get him back, but they're still not whole. Allen misses a second game today, second straight rather. Barrett front rims that one. Into the corner. The Tide up 3, looking to extend it. Holloway misses. Bol Bowen, the hustle, and they will keep it here.
Really good job there by Taylor Bol Bowen. Rebounding out of your area will be at a premium, and you can see him turning on the Jets there and coming up with that loose ball and another possession back to the Tide. Getting a little bit of coaching from Nate Oates. He's had a few possessions defensively. You have to make sure you're locked in and engaged, finishing with quality box outs.
So that's a blue-collar point, offensive board. Do you double the value if your team scores maybe on this end? As Reitzel wants the three offline. Still three, and Millette secures it. Holloway to the rim, high off the glass, and it bounces out. Several good looks for Alabama there on that possession, but here come the Tigers. Stone, too much space. Jaden Stone drills it.
It's a great shot by Jaden Stone. He catches Holloway sleeping, not in denial. And you allow a really good shooter to get an easy shot from the top of the key.
It's one of their better three-point shooters, 40% from distance. Reitzel finally hits.
Now you see how it happens with Latrell Reitzel. Alabama takes their time offensively. The ball goes from one side to the other, and that momentum that Reitzel gets to have to step into that three-pointer is what allows it to be on target.
Mitchell on the other end, he's so clever at getting to the free throw line. He will be there when we return.
Well, Aiden Holloway not in a good defensive position, caught napping, has allowed Missouri to play the game with a little bit more spacing, as a lot of teams in the non-conference were able to pack it in and key in on Mark Mitchell. The balance that they provide has clearly been shown for the Tigers.
Dennis Gates was half kidding earlier today when he goes, we're getting back to 100%. We're at like 95% right now. They're still without Javon Porter, who is now missing a 9th straight game. Timeline for him still up in the air. He was a bit more active today in their shoot-around, which was definitely a step in the right direction. So after the miss at the line, Alabama by 3 on this end. Sherrell, that shows his versatility.
And that's beautiful right there. Outstanding recognition for the sophomore. He's banged out 2-3 balls earlier in the game. And when he did that time, you have to respect it. That pump fake gives him the easy alley in the lefty finish in the paint.
He continues to blossom this year. Mitchell, though, straight to the rack. Mitchell, too strong. First basket of the night for the senior from Kansas City.
Well, Mark Mitchell is fearless, and he's going to take it right into the chest of the Alabama interior defenders.
And a great day against Oklahoma, as you see. Jemison drills the three. That's his second.
Alabama already getting hot from outside. They struggled against Tennessee shooting the 3-ball, and now they're able to get things going early in this ball game.
They got 6 here in the first half, and that's what they finished with against Tennessee. Reitzel in transition. Philon, ball fake, puts it up. That one's offline.
And that's one he wishes he had back. Did a great job of using that pump fake to get the defense out of his way. Always on balance and shoots the shot that he wants to shoot.
Nate Oates bemoaned after the loss Saturday, we need to generate better looks. Are you seeing that so far for Alabama?
Yes, and it's by way of the extra pass. And you can see Aiden Sherrell, he knocked down 2 3-pointers earlier, and that time you got to respect it. And a great use of fundamentals and understanding of the game to get all the way to the basket. You touched on Alabama getting quality shots, and in their last outing against Tennessee, only 9 assists. And this is a team that has to move the ball much better and share it. When they do that, then the shooting percentages go up, the balance and distribution of scores increases, which makes it much more difficult for them to guard. They've been able to implement a little bit of that game plan tonight.
And you just saw it. Good call. 7 of their 9 makes assisted. 6-point edge. Philon coming to double. Robinson is open. Back out to Mitchell.
That's a good job by Taylor Bowen.
Oh, wow. Shot clock was running down. Yep, that's a turnover.
That right there is really good defensive execution by Alabama and knowing personnel. Well, Mark Mitchell is not a 3-point shooter, only 28 3-point shots on the season. And Taylor Bowen, with a short clock, rotated out short on him. He didn't run him off the line, and I think that little bit of hesitation, Mitchell thought he could use his pump fake and get to the basket, but it made a big difference right there in Alabama with the turnover on the shot clock violation.
Mizzou, 39% shooting thus far, that's all. Right cell got his man in the air. The three is pure.
Oh, Alabama's starting to get in a groove. And when you know that you're a team that's prolific from outside, the team must honor your shot fake. And they're utilizing those fundamentals to get cleaner looks.
Largest lead of the first. They're up 9. Stone is trying to barge in. Stone missed it. Alabama secures it. They're in a groove now and on the run. Here's Philon, the lob to Bediako. Timeout, Missouri. It's a 13-2 Alabama run, and they're up double digits.
Well, they've been able to do everything that they want on this surge, and you see LeBaron Philon able to find Charles Bediako up top with the beautiful alley-oop finish for Alabama. The bench is loving it, and the Tide is in a groove.
A really sharp, not only just first half start, but particularly the last handful of minutes.
Well, the 8-0 run.
Yep.
And it's been sparked by Alabama having really good recognition of the Mizzou defense. You're catching the ball on the perimeter, and it started off with that great play from Aiden Sherrill. You've knocked down 7 3-pointers in this ball game, and many of it has been able to take place because you're using your shot fake, getting the defender out the way, or you're making the extra pass to the tune of 9 assists so far, already matching the number that you had in your last outing against Tennessee. Now, I'm looking to see what head coach Dennis Gates and the Missouri Tigers will be doing as far as making an adjustment. They came out of that last timeout that he called, dialed up some pretty good action to get fouled into the free throw line. I'll look to see them executing some of their high-low sets right now.
Bama's putting some pressure on him, too, on this end of the floor. Last few possessions. Oh, Robinson dribbled it. Did he dribble it off his foot? Robinson's got some words here for the Alabama bench. That one is out of bounds. Ball to the Tide.
That's a tough one right there for Robinson as he dribbled it off his foot. They had a really good designed action right there with Cruz coming back up off of a double screen to shoot it at the top of the key. We'll keep our eye on that one. Look for Dennis Gates to dial that one up later in the game when they need a three-pointer.
Alabama foot on the gas right now. Right cell hits Bol Bowen. That's a really nice backdoor cut.
Well, good job on the recognition. It's Bol Bowen. He's driving strong side. The defender had their head turned. He gets on a beeline right to the basket. The dime leads him to the layup.
Somebody's got to try to end the drought here for Missouri. Mitchell dials up the three. Stone the board. He was on the end line. And so nothing really breaking Missouri's way the last few minutes.
And that's where you see where those short closeouts on Mark Mitchell on the three-point line have been effective. He's a really talented player. I think if he steps into that three ball with a little bit more confidence and not shoot it with so much hesitation, he'll be a much more efficient shooter and a much more confident shooter.
Yeah, it's definitely the one weakness in his offensive game overall. He does so much well. So after the giveaway, now Mitchell has it. He can push. Mitchell back out to Robinson. Robinson from 15. Not that time. It's a now more than 3-minute scoring drought for the Tigers. Look who's open. Bol Bowen. Mitchell's got it. Double-digit lead for the Tide in the first half. 3:15 to play.
Offense looking a little stagnant for Missouri.
Phillips finally ends the drought, so it's Mizzou's first basket in 3.5 minutes.
Phillips has been able to get in a groove down low. He's had 2 left-handed jump hooks. If you're Alabama, you got to understand personnel.
Oh, man, that was more than halfway down. Houston Millett thought he had the triple. Chance for the Tigers. Mitchell, close range. Yeah, there's Phillips. Big to big, and he throws it down.
Well, that's something they do really well. Mark Mitchell, he can score the ball, but it's his IQ and playmaking ability. You see him taking his time right there and throwing it right to the rim for the alley-oop.
He's got a couple of assists. Phillips, meanwhile, has 8, so he's already at his season average.
Yeah, the switching defenses.
Oh, Philon, that's good.
The subtle details on that particular situation. Mizzou's in drop coverage. with Sean Phillips back in the paint. And Bediako holds that ball screen for just a tick longer. That allows Philon to be able to get freed up and shoot it without any contest from the help.
It goes without saying, just the luxury of having Bediako. Look, spent the last few years in the G League, but that is quite an advantage you gain. Philon now with
a big man in ball screen action. Many players, many coaches think that for bigs, it's a simple thing. Be big, pull rebounds, run, finish, set a screen, and roll. But you have to be able to recognize and have a vision to see the defense of what you need to do. If the defender is up to get ready to hedge, then you slip out quickly. If he's back, you hold your screen a little bit longer. And you can see that Bediako and the experience that he has is able to make a difference with that recognition.
Millette, a corner three, misfires. And it goes without saying the advantage that, of course, Alabama has. You add him here at this point in the season.
Well, you know, it definitely is a significant player. But Bediako, 23 years old.
Yeah.
You know, there's plenty players on the court that haven't, as far as age is concerned, and experience in just playing the game. But sometimes playing against higher level opponents gives you reps that you just can't quantify. And you might be able to see it in small details like that. Maybe not in the statistical column, but it's the spacing and understanding of the game and the application of the sport.
They have been in rhythm on this end of the floor. Philon adds another. He's got 11.
Really good job. LeBaron Philon with that action. He shapes it up and gets really good spacing.
Mitchell is open. Mitchell counted. And the foul. So he gets the whistle, and he's going to go to the line to complete the three-point play.
Good job right there by Mark Mitchell by going up strong. If you're Aiden Sherrill, if you're going to be a shot blocker, it's an attitude that you have to attack that with some aggression and put some fear in an offensive player's eye. But if it's one player you're not going to put any fear in, it's number 25 in black, Mark Mitchell, on attack at the rim.
Senior from Kansas City. Leaves that free throw short. He has been incredibly productive this year. So that foul on Alabama keeps it here with Missouri. They've got 40 seconds left. They've been down by double digits for the better part of the last 5-10 minutes. Can they string a couple of baskets together, tighten this one up before the break?
Well, you got to get the ball back to Mark Mitchell. He's been struggling shooting, particularly 0 for 3, but he makes good decisions like that right there to find where the advantage is. He's a creator. Let him operate.
Right into a whole bunch of traffic. Over to Sebastian Mack. That's a long two. Phillips draws the foul. So that is the 16th foul on Alabama. They inbound it again. That's on Bediako.
That's really good work by Sean Phillips. And he has 2 offensive rebounds in this game, but you credit him with another one right there. That activity of being relentless to fight around his man to give his team a second opportunity. He's been doing that all night long.
Also, pardon me, they say he was in the act of shooting, trying to tip that one back in. So he does go to the line for 2. This is definitely his undoing. He's less than 50% from the line. He has been very impactful, though, in the paint in the first half for Mizzou.
If you're Alabama, you have to have a little bit more of a spirited effort of boxing out Phillips. I mean, he goes 0 for 2 from the free throw line. And this is an opportunity for Alabama in the last seconds to see if they can capitalize.
And all that said, they got a chance to extend this lead.
I'd go screen roll. T.O. Barrett's a really good defender. I'd get him off the ball.
Yep. Philon pulls it, missed the 3, 4 seconds. Quickly to Barrett. He's got another dribble here. Barrett from half court, missed it. And Alabama takes a commanding 13-point lead
in the first half, and it was all because of the spacing and the unselfish play of the Tide.
You wouldn't have fit into that GMC. We need the regular size one for you. Luckily, nothing got switched up in the parking lot. 13-point lead. Alabama starts with it this side of the floor. They've lost consecutive home games, which is an oddity and a rarity in the Nate Oates tenure. Sherrell gets fouled underneath. He'll be at the line. This program, they have not lost 3 in a row at home in nearly 14 years. It has been a while, so they've got the upper hand here after 20 minutes, trying to get back above 500 in league play. That foul was on Phillips. So Sherrell, a sophomore from Detroit who continues to blossom this year, now has 8 points, make it 9.
Well, the impressive job that Sherrell has been able to be impactful in today's game is the fact that he's doing it alongside Charles Bediako. Oftentimes young players struggle when you bring another player into the fold. In his last outing against Tennessee, had 6 points, which was well off the mark of what he's been doing recently. But tonight he's back in his groove, and the front line is playing well.
He looks freed up. He has been an X factor. Barrett drills the 3. And Missouri needs a little spark on that end of the floor. They were 2 of 9 from distance in the first, and they missed a whole bevy of free throws. That's a foul on Cruz, his first.
T.O. Barrett knocking this down from the outside is a big deal for Missouri. They had a struggling time in the first half to convert, maybe because of the defense of Alabama, but a lot of time left. You get a shot like that to go, that'll be huge for them in their momentum.
He has been very impactful the last 4. He's from Oklahoma City. Nice homecoming game the other day, scoring the career high 21. Bediako, oh, there's a spin. Yep, that's just a pro move there on Phillips. So Bediako goes to the line.
A really good job by Charles Bediako, and they gave him the space to operate. He uses the leverage of Phillips against himself, and then he gets that quick spin off the baseline. Just not able to make it on the reverse layup, but a really good move in the low post.
Again, second game for Bediako, back in the Tide uniform, is with the G League affiliate a little more than a week ago. Temporary restraining order extended 10 more days. So women's hoops matchup on Thursday features Auburn and South Carolina. That is going to be on the Plains. That's Thursday night. And the 3rd-ranked Gamecocks, they had a big-time win, yeah, against Vanderbilt on Sunday. Defeated a top-5 Vandy team by nearly 30.
Yeah, the Don Staley squad, they really flexed their muscle against a really good Shea Ralph and Vanderbilt team. Michaela Blakes, Albry Galvin. That's a really good team. But Larry Vickers in his first year at Auburn on the women's side, he'll have to bring his A game against a tough opponent.
Good luck. Let's see if Barrett can make it 2 in a row. Barrett, that's good.
That's a good find right there. And then we talked about the rhythm, and T.O. Barrett's been able to knock down back-to-back Jays.
So he remains in rhythm. He has 12, the lone Tiger in double figures. They're trying to slice away slowly but surely at this deficit. Holloway, the extra pass. Cruz was there to defend Sherrell. Wrightsell missed it. Phillips the board.
This is a tough shot for Wrightsell. You know, your energy is moving backwards. He's been able to find that shot when he used the pump fake. You can see the activity.
Mitchell counted and the foul.
It's Mark
Crashing
Mitchell.
hard.
And the physicality. Mark Mitchell coming in with that offensive rebound putback. If there's a player you got to box out, it's got to be Mitchell. And a really good job as the Tigers are starting to chip away.
You know, you alluded to this a few moments ago. With this free throw, Missouri will start this half on a 9-4 run, or outscoring Alabama 9-4. Mitchell, he's reliable at the line, but missed this one. Nevertheless, this one's back to single digits for Mizzou. Philon is open, sets the feet, offline. Wrightsell, a new 20. Well, he's wide open. Yeah, cashes in.
Now you see the difference. The shooting percentages go up. And Latrell Wrightsell, oftentimes he rushes his three-point shot and he's not as effective. But when he takes his time, then he really takes his percentages up a whole nother level. If I would give the suggestion for him is find your spots when you're on balance and you'll be far more effective.
Bo Bowen can't hit it. Wrightsell, he is the veteran from Omaha, 3rd year with the program. Mark Mitchell puts his head down. That one was jarred away. Up ahead to Holloway. Transition three. No.
And not a fan of the decision right there of Alabama. You get a steal and you're going down 2-on-1. You got to get in your running lane and finish that with a layup, pulling up for a 3-ball. Not the best option.
It was almost a 2-on-0 there for a second. Missouri, though, can't make them pay for the transgression. So Jaden Stone, 2 of 7 from the floor. There's a lob to Bediako. Just put it on the reel. There's another.
And another situation with Bediako. A lot of people understand screen roll basketball, that you have to play with speed, but it's really about tempo. And he changed up the rhythm when he set that screen. He got the advantage of 2-on-1, and that created the alley-oop.
So it's another double-figure game for Bediako. He has 10. Mitchell is going back to the free throw line, scoring close range again.
And Mark Mitchell, he's just a bull down low. He gets the mismatch that he wants on a much smaller Taylor Bowen and takes it right into his chest. And that explosion when he goes up to finish it gives him the opportunity for the and one.
He's top 10 of the league in scoring. He's showing his versatility today. 8 points, but also the 5 rebounds, 4 assists. So here's been the bizarre turn today for Mitchell. He is 0 of 4 at the line.
And the made free throws from Missouri would have been a game changer. You know, it's puzzling.
They've missed 9 now. So they're down 11, or make it 12, pardon me. Now look, you can't, not as if they would make all 9, but.
No, that's the difference.
Yeah, that
is
partly
the
explains, yeah. Wrightsell, patient, back into the paint, flings it out. Noah Williamson is open, left the 3 short. No one blocked out Philon. And so there's another whistle. 4th team foul on Mizzou. Bediako, he loves it.
It's this 2-man game between Bediako and Holloway, and there he is up top.
Is why the NCAA initially denied the eligibility waiver, citing that provision, of course, saying, look, when you keep your name in the draft, you forfeit your remaining eligibility. Now, his legal team is citing, as you referenced before, there's a lot of precedent that says his legal team here could have a case against that, considering that provision is based around amateurism. The pass goes out of bounds. So look, he gets the temporary restraining order. They're looking for an injunction to keep him playing the rest of the season, and that will unfold. That's kind of the nitty-gritty here right now, Richard.
Well, it's a lot, but in the simple terms, there's been professionals that have gotten clearance to play in the NCAA.
Yeah.
Now I will say in this particular situation, when Charles Bediako entered the NBA draft and he was undrafted, the rule that should be changed by the NCAA and the NBA is if you're undrafted, that should not forego your eligibility. A player should be able to get back to college, as you can see. Taylor Bowen taking that one end to end and drawing the foul. A very spirited and determined finish there as he takes on that contact, and now he'll go to the line. But I've never been a fan in these moments where you have players who have to make a decision to enter the draft because there is a calendar and a deadline. And the NBA sets their deadline in the calendar because they have the playoffs. The college coaches have to make a decision of when they're going to start recruiting and give a scholarship to someone. So you have to declare, and then you're at the mercy of the NBA to select you. And then when they select you, or if they don't select you, then you have no options. So it's a tricky situation that, in my experience of being an underclassman that was drafted,
right,
it would be best if you did have a choice. If that was the team that you wanted to go play for, if that was the number that you liked, or if you were undrafted, why can you not go back to college? Now it's a lot going on in the landscape being changed, and there's an incentive for many of these professionals that are playing internationally to now seek financial opportunities in the collegiate game. But getting on page with the professional ranks, I think, is very important for the change that's needed and how you go about amateurs and professional athletes.
Yeah, Mitchell draws the foul, so he will head back to the free throw line. So Richard, look, it's understandable. I think a lot of folks externally, you look at it and you go, yeah, a player who declared for the draft coming back, It's unique, might look a little strange here. However, there's just a more nuanced explanation behind it, as you pointed out.
Well, you know, I have a unique situation that I've been in these situations. You know, I've played 12 years abroad in many of these countries, and a lot of the international players that are professionals, you have to be honest on the assessment of what they are. There is a big difference in the American system and the international system for the way that athletics is tied to the academics here. Internationally, that's not the case. So your talented players have to come up in the professional club system. Now, you do have your handful of players like a Ricky Rubio or a Luka Doncic who do play against the top level competition, where they're playing against former NBA players and professionals who are making high salaries, and they are impactful. But many of the players have played on the youth levels in the B teams and the younger teams, and many times they're just practice players, and they might get a minute here or there.
Right.
But nonetheless, you want the opportunities to be equal across the board for players, regardless of where you come from, when it comes to determining who's a professional and who's not, and how do you get eligibility in the college game.
Missouri taps that one back in. So the element to tweak in your eyes is that provision that is centered around losing Holloway scores. When you declare for the draft, you lose eligibility. We can tweak that one in your eyes.
You can tweak a lot of things. And I probably would start the first one as we see another breakaway.
Here's Holloway, by the way. Oh, Barrett, get that out of here. T.O. Barrett with the hustle. His team's still in the 13-point hole. Mitchell going up, flings it up, and the throwdown. Pierce follows. It's an 11-point game again.
Yeah, now you stand the surge, and it's starting off that athleticism of T.O. Barrett with that rejection.
Philon, though, got very close range there. It could not finish the left hand. Millett, did he call a timeout? This is the second straight game. He chases one down, and he calls the timeout. He is an animal with these hustle plays.
And he came from the other side of the court. He was right on the B line, and he go over there and got on his horse and was able to see it. And this is one that you can see the activity.
Double digits, really, since the second portion of the first half. Nice feed and find to Bo Bowen. He could not stuff it home. We get a tie-up, and Missouri's going to benefit from this one.
That's one where Taylor Bo Bowen has to dunk that with authority. And when you're finishing amongst the trees, you got to have an attitude that you get the ball, that you're going to rip the rim down. And it's a big bucket, a beautifully designed play. And at 6'10", he has really good athleticism, but it's the mindset that you have to finish that one hard.
He deflected that pass, so Missouri has half the shot clock to work with. Tigers aiming to go on a bit of a run in Tuscaloosa.
Beautiful defense by Alabama. They negotiated that screen roll situation to perfection. They communicated and got exactly what they needed. You can look. You can see Missouri tries to go with some of this screen roll action. And here's a miss on the rejection, but the previous action before to get to the shot by T.O. Barrett, they ran some complex sets with a little bit of Spain pick and roll, but Alabama communicated that one wonderfully.
Reitzel banks in a three. That's his fourth. Alabama has made 11 threes, nearly double their total against that vaunted Tennessee defense a few days ago. Barrett had it knocked away. Not a good decision. And it's another Missouri turnover. Holloway nearly lost it, backs it out. Holloway working off the Sherrell screen. Shovel it back. Reitzel hesitated. Looking to take Mitchell off the bounce, off the window. Can't finish. Pierce secures it. Missouri desperate now in a 14-point hole. Sebastian Mack getting some run.
A lot of time left in this game, but if they can execute right now and get some quality looks, then it can really help them out.
Mitchell up with the left. No. Holloway foot on the gas. Pauses. Reitzel puts it up. Puts it in.
And there you see the patience in that transition attack by Alabama. And that time, unfortunately for Latrell Wrightsell, he caught the brunt of it. But a good job by this officiating crew. I don't think that was a foul at all.
Nate Oates has not been shy with his appeals and challenges this year.
You got to use all of the things that you have. These are tools that they're helping you, that you can utilize, that you can get an advantage in the game. And Nate Oates and his staff thought that that was something that could be elevated to give them an extra possession.
Wrightsell knocks that one loose.
A really good job right there by Latrell Wrightsell, playing 3/4 around, getting the deflection. And you can see Jacob Cruz immediately saying, point it up. I'm 6'8", throw it up top and put it right there so I can get the ball.
Missouri in its biggest hole of the evening. They've only won in this building one time. That's it. They're 1-8 in Tuscaloosa. That'll stay here, but 5 to shoot. That only win in this building was back in January of 2018. They have got to climb all the way back here with 11:26 to play.
Let's see what kind of quick hitter they got designed on this BOB.
3 to shoot. Robinson a step back, offline. They just have not shot the ball effectively enough here to hang with Alabama today. Less than 40% from the floor, and they've struggled from distance and at the line. Oh, Philon, get out of his way, but he missed the layup.
Well, he dished out a little too much physicality trying to clear out the space, and that caused him to miss his own layup.
I'm surprised they didn't call the offensive. Nevertheless, they're back on this end of the floor. Wrightsell, he's got 5 threes. Extra pass, the corner, Jemison right back. And they're going to continue to move it. He's open, Wrightsell, bucket!
Now that's how you play the game. And Latrell Wrightsell came down, and he had an opportunity to shoot that ball, and he passed it up. The ball goes around the perimeter, and every player for Alabama passed up a good shot for a better one. And it came back to the guy that started it, Wrightsell, with the beautiful shot.
It's a career-high 6 triples for the veteran from Omaha. Robinson off the window on the other end. You know, early on, you pointed out, took a couple of off-balance threes. Since then, dialed in.
You know, one thing you'll learn when you get more experience, and that comes with maturity, is that you want to play the game on your terms. And you play it with the pace.
Okay, Bediako. Excuse me.
Yeah, you play it with a pace and understanding how to get a bucket. And you can see Charles Bediako reading the defense to perfection and getting the easy deuce.
Yeah, right now they're taking it to Missouri. They have opened up a 20-point cushion. Past the halfway mark in the second. Phillips starting to go to work. Underneath, lost his footing, lost the basketball. Missouri with 11 turnovers. Wrightsell, another, yeah!
Now he's on the heater. Dennis Gates wants to talk about it because number 3 in white is knocking down threes. It's been the unselfish play of Alabama. They're passing up good shots, swinging it around the perimeter. Every man gets a touch, and it comes right back to Latrell Wrightsell. He's been on fire. The unselfish play, he's shooting the ball on balance, and you see the results.
It's a 14-2 Alabama run, fueled by Wrightsell's rampage from beyond the arc.
In just over 3.5 minutes, they were able to get it done. It shows the spurt ability that Alabama has. And when they get it going, they can score in bunches. Now the question will be for the Tide with 9 minutes and 24 seconds remaining. Can you keep your foot on the gas, or will Missouri make the adjustment to chip away to get back in this one?
Now they're going to have to do something. They've still got, there's 9:24 left. We have got plenty of time, but they are in a big hole after that. There it is, 14-2 run. They haven't had an answer for Alabama.
Well, the 4 for 14 from the free throw line has been big for Missouri. And you miss free throws can oftentimes, create a little bit of anxiety for the team. You're a little shell-shocked. They're going to have to get some easy buckets. And this is the top team in the country, in the conference, when it comes to efficiency, when it comes to getting 2-point baskets. They're going to have to continue to execute, get the ball to their playmakers, and then, of course, finish. That's what it boils down to.
It's a season-high tying 21 for Wrightsell. You know, the discussion just around the program this week, Nate Oates had been very vocal about it. Look, we can't afford to lose, let alone another SEC game. We don't want to lose another game in this building. They haven't lost 3 straight in Coleman in Oates' tenure as a head coach. Last time that happened was almost a decade and a half ago. Jemison misfires. Now the player that is trailing the play, it is Charles Bediako. I missed it. He was slow to get up, but clearly took a tumble there after that latest sequence. I think he's telling everybody, I'm okay.
He took a hit and he just needed a moment to catch his composure. But nonetheless, you touched on the ability of Alabama. This is a team that has enough talent that they can play with anyone. They've played a tough schedule this season, and they've dropped some games against some big-time teams. Purdue, Arizona, to name a few. And when they're at full strength, talk about getting Amari Allen back into the fold. This is the team that has the personnel to compete with any team in the country. But they're going to have to get their chemistry together very quickly as they start to get healthy.
Now that has been the recent bugaboo. One player is hurt, somebody comes back, another one goes out. There's a lob up top to Trent Burns and a very gentle wedgie. Usually it's a little more emphatic than that. Ball back to Alabama. They got the arrow.
Definitely so. It's talk about that chemistry and getting the team back together. When you have a deeper roster, in many ways it can be a challenge. You have to learn how to work the minutes that you have. May the minutes that you get be 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 22 minutes of playing time. Are your minutes effective and impactful? Did you make a difference while you're on the court?
Wrightsell, nice find that time. Sherrill is going to go to the free throw line. And so, yeah, there you see on the far left, Amari Allen has missed his second straight game, lower body injury. Nate Oates thought he would be back soon. We'll see if he's going to be ready to go Saturday. But so today, Holloway active, Allen not able to play. You know, I think it's worth noting, all 3 of Alabama's SEC losses, they've been down at least 1 starter.
And he's a big-time player. You talk about Allen, a freshman that's intriguing for a lot of pro prospects and scouts in the building to check him out. He can guard a true 2-way player. Really tough. He can hit shots from the outside, rebounds well. So he's a big part of what Alabama can be. But when he gets back into the fold, can the team continue to grow as far as having a synergistic style of everyone bringing their best in the same direction? That's a challenge to do, but they'll have to figure it out. And since they've dug a hole in conference play, they'll have to figure it out quickly.
Oh, and that's why Oates and the staff, they still are very much believe in the upside of this team. There's just been a number of factors that we're talking about here. That one's tapped back up and in. That has affected that chemistry at times.
You have to make sure that you...
Oh, look at that one. Sherrill could not throw it down. Up ahead to Barrett. Barrett rises. He's fouled. He'll be at the line in a moment.
Really good job right there by T.O. Barrett. He got that ball after the missed dunk attempt by Aiden Sherrill, and it turned on the gas in between 2 players. He's going to the free throw line.
The Tide, they have tormented Missouri in this second half. Largest lead of the game was just a few moments ago, and they led by 24. While we do have a moment, SEC Network has got 3 wonderful gymnastics meets this Friday starting at 6 Eastern. Oklahoma against Kentucky. Then it's LSU and Missouri, followed by Auburn and Georgia on Sunday at 6 Eastern. You can also catch those on the app.
Gotta love a little Friday night heights.
Elite matchups. Everybody in the conference is great, year in and year out.
The best athletes in the league, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah. Philon trying to bulldoze his way inside. Reitzel, wow, he's so open, he slipped. Can't get up, it rolls to Sherrill, and Sherrill is fouled. Everything just continues to break Alabama's way. Sherrill is at the free throw line when we return. 20-plus point lead for the Tide in Tuscaloosa. All-American, really good, excellent career here at Alabama. And look who's in the house as well on the other side.
Really good player, Trent Richardson, 3rd overall pick in the NFL draft. Powerful runner back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Aiden Sherrill scores 2.
Good offense right now from Missouri, moving the ball around. Mark Mitchell just off the mark. He's been struggling. He's going to have to get back to his bread and butter, which I think is in that mid post when he operates. He can create for himself and for others.
Alabama's pretty much getting whatever it wants now. 25-point lead. And Sherrill, another double-figure game. He's got 15 points.
It's the recognition and when they have their advantages. At that time, Aiden Sherrill did a really good job as far as his technique on that side pick and roll. And when he caught it, really good balance on the jump stop to collect himself and finish.
Aiden Sherrill to shoot 1.
4 out of 6 from the line. He's gotten to the free throw line effectively.
Aiden Sherrill scores 1.
What stands out most about Alabama's performance to this point?
That they've continued to put their foot on the gas. You know, their problem this past season, or this season, has been they've been able to get leads, and they're not able to continue to guard. They guard when they're playing good offense, but this game they've still been able to get stops. You're holding Missouri to 39% from the field and doing a really good job. Now, Missouri's had a lot of self-inflicted errors at the free throw line. They've been 5 for 16. But Alabama's starting to play a complete game with balance on the inside and outside.
This is Randall, the rookie. Throws it up with the right. Cruz is there to clean up the glass. You know, and a lot of those missed free throws very early in the game. That is the bizarre figure. Now, Missouri has not been as quality free throw shooting team as a year ago, but they're really on the wrong end of that. Philon's going to the line for one more.
There's Philon, and he turns the corner for his 13th point. And Alabama with a big lead, but I'd look for Philon, the conference's leading scorer, to start to turn it up here in the closing moments of the game.
You know, anywhere Philon goes these days, the scouts are there to watch. You know, Trent Richardson is in the house. Got national champ, All-American, Tony Delk. He's a scout for the Nuggets. He is here in attendance as well. SEC Player of the Year, Final Four Most Outstanding Player. Had a great NBA career.
Really good player for the Wildcats.
But Philon, of course, with all of the next level buzz. You mentioned it before, Amari Allen, the freshman. Boy, he has turned some heads at the next level. Another bucket that time for Stone. Allen out today, second straight game he has missed. And it does appear to, like most on the Alabama side, they're optimistic he's coming back soon. Not a long-term absence by any stretch, barring any setback. Richard, going back to that discussion we were having just about the upside for this Alabama team, all the things that need to fall into place. The biggest one, you know, we'd love to be 100% healthy. Count that basket for Mitchell. They continue to, you know, work towards that. It's the ball movement on the offensive end. But the one thing that that you hear the staff talk a lot about is what you have pointed to on the defensive side this year. You know, just that defensive tenacity, focus, and how intentional they are on that end. That is so critical for that upside to be really high the rest of the year and into the postseason.
Oh, well, they have a lot of talent. And Amari Allen, who has recently shown in his numbers of what he's done in conference play, is a big factor in that. They have a lot of guys, and this is just uncanny. With Mark Mitchell and what he's done at the free throw line.
1 out of 8.
And listen,
Wow.
I've been there before.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. It gets in your head. You start to get a little bit of a hitch in your shot. What you have to do if you're Mark Mitchell.
There's a lob back to Bediako. He has been the beneficiary of a number of those plays tonight.
Well, Philon, I mean, he's phenomenal with the ball. And he knows when he comes downhill in that screen row action that if he can throw it up at the corner of the square, he's got a legit finisher.
Philon today now 14 points, 6 assists. Lob it up another, and so Jemison, the rookie, got a little over-eager that time.
You can throw it high, but you can't throw it that high. and it's one thing about touch when it comes to passing. Is many times you're looking at the player that you're throwing it to, but you really have to understand that you're passing it to an area in which the player is going.
Yeah.
And so if you're London Jemison right there, you're not looking at Bediako. You're looking at the corner of the rim of where Bediako is trying to go. And it's those little subtle details in the skill set of the game as Philon draws a foul on that push-off there by Stone that you have to learn with experience and feel of the game.
Yep. You know, also speaks to just the interesting fact, again, it's game 2 here for Bediako with this group. That's it. And yet he and Philon have formed a nice connection.
Well, he's been in this program.
Yep.
And you understand things. And you know, the way that the game is trending, it's easy to get in.
Yeah, Richard, hold on just while we got a moment. So you got the Fighting Tiger, chronicles the 43-year career and legacy of LSU gymnastics head coach D.D. Bro, whose career mirrored the evolution of women's college athletics. SEC story. That's Friday, February 13th, right here on the network. Go back to your point. I want you to finish that one.
Well, I was thinking about that nice promotional. I'm gonna have to tune in and watch that out, but check that out. But I tell you, you learn certain things about the game with time and experience, and that's how you have to learn how to read it. The game slows down, and there's always a good option to take.
Philon, little push shot, and he's fouled going back to the free throw line.
It's the game within the game. And this is the SEC's leading scorer with 22 points a game. Just a couple moments ago, he had 11. He drew a foul, got to the free throw line. Here he is again. He's back to the line again. Really good shooter. You have to have a knack of what's going on. And this kid right here knows exactly how to play the game.
So tomorrow right here on the network, Tennessee is in Athens to face Georgia. Tip-off 7 Eastern on the network. You can also stream it on the app. Nate Ament broke out for 29 points. That was a career high in the win against Alabama in this building a few nights ago.
He was on a mission.
Yeah.
He got a lot of his buckets in that mid post at 6'10". He was just turning right around, shooting over top of his defender. He's starting to figure it out. The game is slowing down. He realizes he can be more aggressive with getting to the basket. And that's a feel that it takes to figure out that you take what the game gives you and then you just deliver.
Right now in this league, you know, this title race, again, we're not quite even yet at the midway mark of the SEC season, but I don't know which way this title race is
It's
going
wide
to
open.
unfold. Tennessee, of course, with that win, they got back to 500 league play. They're now 3-3 before their game against Georgia. Got a lot of quality teams right in the middle of the pack of the SEC. The leaders right now, Texas A&M at 6-1. Arkansas just matched them in the win column with that victory earlier against OU. They're 6-2 in league play.
Well, I don't look for the Texas A&M Aggies to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Bucky McMillan is playing really well with his team. Got him playing a spirited style of ball that's very, very difficult to prepare for. But it's Alabama who has come out tonight well prepared, and they're playing like they're definitely has gotten out of the gate. Some strong play around the league, looking to see which teams will continue to gel to be stronger down the end.
The league is still a gauntlet, of course, strongest league. And that's according to the metrics. A lot of folks give a lot of credence to Ken Palm's conference statistics. It's still rated as the strongest league, top to bottom. I think I heard Peter mention that Alabama-Florida game that's coming up this Sunday, top 25 battle, ABC. That is going to be Sunday and a 1 Eastern tip. So you got Alabama and the reigning national champs.
The big showdown. Todd Golden's team's getting better and better, coming off a loss against Auburn. Auburn with a big win.
Wow, nice pass from Williamson. How about the freshman Nick Randall pinning that one on the backboard?
Really good job by Randall.
So if you're Missouri, we can kind of put a bow here on this Tigers performance tonight. Clearly things went sideways. Is really the late stages of the first half is when they fell into the double-digit deficit, or fell into the double-digit hole, I should say. And then the lead just kept continuing to grow for Alabama. They were down by as many as 29. And they will have to move on quickly because Missouri faces Mississippi State at home this Saturday, before then going on the road to face South Carolina and the aforementioned Aggies.
This is still a really good team.
Yep.
You know, they came into a little bit of a buzzsaw of an Alabama team that really needed to win 14 threes for the Tide, and they were able to make their free throws where Mizzou was not. But there's a lot of talent on this Missouri team that can beat you in many ways.
It's really astounding when you look at it. Alabama has made 10 more threes than Missouri, and there you go, the free throws, plus 14 at the line. It felt like a night where the shots they would not fall for Missouri. Even some of the clean looks early on in this game. They've got some really impressive wins in SEC play thus far. The latest one against Oklahoma, but they beat Auburn at home. They won at home against Florida, won at Kentucky in that late surge, that come-from-behind win in Lexington. But today, going to fall to 4-4 in league play. So after South Carolina's emphatic victory over Vanderbilt a few days ago, it will be on the Plains to take on Auburn. That's Thursday, a 9 Eastern tip on the SEC Network. All right, so speaking of breaking news, enough of the breaking news regarding to a law and order this week in Tuscaloosa. Evidently a missed free throw here, and we got missed French fries. Student section. There's not much that you wouldn't do when you're between the age of 18 to 23. Chicken sandwich, French fries, you'll do anything for that. Speak for experience. Millette leaves that three short. If there was a night for the missed free throw giveaway to actually go through, I think it's on the night where a team shoots 33% at the free throw line.
Everybody loves the giveaway.
Free T-shirt, free French fries. And where does it end here? Millette for three, dials one up. 15 triples for Alabama tonight.
And the assist by Preston Murphy Jr. He got a piece of the paint, made a really good decision to kick that one out. Good on time and on target pass.
Alabama was determined not to lose another game in this building. That has been a topic here early in SEC play. They lost against Texas a couple of weeks ago, lost in this building against Tennessee on Saturday. Jacob Martin, as you see, comes onto the floor for the 7th game this year. And so they were determined not to drop another game in this building. And they defend home court. They've got the huge lead here with a minute to play. Burns can't hit it. Do 20, lob it up. Trent Burns barely, he's 7'6". You barely got a leap on a lob pass when you're that tall.
He has a lot of potential. You can see that he had that touch trying to shoot the shot from the outside. Project, but man.
For the Crimson Tide, it'll be now 3 wins in their last 4 after those consecutive road wins as well. Last week against Oklahoma and Mississippi State. And so it will get to 4-3 in league play. And that is the goal year in and year out. Contend and vie for SEC championships. They've won 2 in Nate Oates' tenure. Fell into a little hole there by losing 2 of their first 3. But we'll get back above 500 in league play tonight. And this is Preston Murphy Jr. As you mentioned, his dad, 3rd year on the staff.
Preston Murphy scores 2.
There's Mr. M.
You get a chance to see his son contribute in the game, has an assist, knocked down 2 free throws, and playing tough defense.
Martin called for the foul.
Good decisive move right there by Nicholas Randle. And that rip through, and Martin trying to come up with the strip, coming up with a little bit too much.
I'll ask you one more time just before we get out of here. What was most impressive? What stood out the most today about Alabama's performance?
Well, just an end-to-end game. You know, they were able to get the run going, but the unselfish play, that's the biggest thing to me. You have 19 assists, and the way that the ball was moving, the distribution of scoring on the roster. And when you have so many things, you can pick your poison of how you can get it. They got things done in the screen row action with alley-oops. They moved around the outside with 15 three-point shots. They got to the free throw line. When you have that type of balanced level of play, it makes you very, very good. And they were successful tonight.
Alabama, 15 threes. You're going to travel not too far. You'll be on the plains tomorrow. thanks for being here. Richard will have Texas Auburn tomorrow night on ESPN2. Burns with the stuff.
Man.
That was an emphatic one. But Alabama scores 90, hits 15 triples, powered by Latrell Wrightsel's breakout 21-point game. He nailed a career-high 7 threes. Philon was great. So was Sherrell, Bediako in double figures. And the Tide overwhelmed Missouri